are systems really important from a minority standpoint?
Well, again, even using the example of taking care of our home, culturally, that's not something we've ever seen. Like you go back a few generations and people think of it, they see black and white, they see all this old stuff. They think that slavery and, racism and all this other stuff is millions of years ago, right? When in reality, we're not talking about that long ago. Voting rights, that's something that just happened in the 1900s. Like this isn't a realistic space for us. So when you think about us creating the fact that I can make $1 million in a year to my great grandmother is unrealistic. It's unheard of. She used to pick watermelons in Oklahoma. There's no way that her great grandchild can make $1 million in a year, much less in a month, much less in a day. Right. So that framework and mindset, that's just not there. So now if my great grandmother never ran a business, my grandmother never had a business, my mother never had a business, who teaches us how to do this? Right. So there has to be people in place that are saying, I know we didn't have this experience. I know we didn't have a silver spoon. I know we didn't have trust funds. So who's going to teach us and show us how to take the framework we've used for centuries, helping other people, and actually help ourselves with these businesses? So now you look at the whole minority construct. You want to start a business. You're a young Black woman and you're like, hey, I know how to do something really, really well. I don't care if you're braiding hair, doing taxes, or running a tech company. You know how to do something really well. What happens is the process is that you just go open a company. You go get some cheap Vistaprint cards. You remember the Vistaprint cards back in the day? It's like you get 40,000 of them for $8.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so you just go get a cute little website and, you just start. Even if you get those things, you just start. You don't know about taxes. You don't know about licensing. You don't know any of this because you don't know anybody that even knows about it. And then you don't know what you don't know. So there has to be somebody that shows you, the systems part of it. It's just how the business runs. So using another example, as far as I've had restaurants, old barbecue restaurants that are great, that have been passed down for years. They have systems in place that are here. So because what we're taught is you don't share your secret recipe with anybody, honey. You don't tell anybody how this barbecue sauce is made. I don't care if it's at your family house during Thanksgiving. Grandma's stuffing, her dressing, you don't teach anybody how that made. Only grandma makes that. Your auntie's mac and cheese, everybody keeps a secret of what their special sauce is, right?
Yeah.
What ends up happening is grandmother dies. And that's literally what happened to me. She had a tea cake. My Nana had a tea cake recipe that was phenomenal. Beautiful little yellow cookies. I sprinkled something on top. I don't know. And when she passed away, I couldn't teach my daughter how to make these cookies. And this was my whole childhood, my college years. She used to ship them to my college, right? And then when I had a daughter and she's like, Mommy, can we bake cookies together one day? I literally burst into tears because I didn't have the system, the process, which is a recipe, on how to recreate these cookies. So because we've been taught to keep everything so secret and you don't pass these things down, if you've never had to sit bedside with a man who had a barbecue spot for 20 years and let him whisper the secret recipes for his sauces, because that's how ingrained it is culturally that you keep things private, right? So now being able to come in and say, hey, I know how we've been taught. I understand that it's scary telling somebody your secret sauce to your business, to your actual recipes, to how you teach people trucking, to how you run your real estate company. I know you've never told anybody that. But in the event, the worst case scenario, you die today, your business won't live on. We admire and love these Walmarts and Chick-fil-A's and all these other companies, but if there's no processes that are documented, your company is going to die with you. And it's not until it's been explained in a way for us to understand that we could actually take on and create systems in our businesses.
Yes, it sounds like it just takes empathy and understanding and helping people make that journey, because it's a huge mindset shift to go from not wanting to share anything and just, this is how we grew up, this is how I was raised, to realizing that you need to empower other people and you need to get it out of your head in order to keep it consistent, in order to make it scale. So, but that's a big hurdle to get over. As you were telling your story about your grandma, I was thinking about mine, and it's the same kind of thing. Like when my grandma passed away, she used to make these soups and these like old Italian recipes that no one in the family can make anymore. But I took one thing from her house when she passed away, and it was the soup ladle. And so I put that in my house. And so in my kitchen, when I'm trying to experiment and make different things, I see grandma's soup ladle there as a reminder that I have to share what I'm doing and hopefully I can replicate it. And but such a great example. Thank you for sharing that.
Chris, I took my grandmother's, look, I took my grandmother's ladle too.
Really?
When she passed, yeah, and it's a big, beautiful spoon ladle, and it's on the wall above my stove in the kitchen.
Oh, I love that.